can't tell you how wrong that is if you're in the early stages of development. When you're good and you want to expand your vocabulary, you know, I have my own like cliched lines and some lines here and there that I can morph into a new line. I don't even like to play the same line that much. So what you need to do is play randomly and practice randomly a lot. And don't worry about like memorizing a lot of licks and lines, because that's going to bog you down. I've interviewed over 75 musicians about this. So Jay, thanks for joining. Sax guy, nice, thanks for joining. And I'm just giving you the real serious truth. All right, I study with, if you guys are, I don't know if you know these players, depends on if you're into smooth jazz or traditional jazz, but I don't know Sax guy if you know Dick Oates, he's a big alto and tenor jazz guy in New York. Joe Lovano, very famous. Grant Stewart, very famous. George Garzone, one of the most famous jazz tenor saxophone players in the world. He's a professor at Berklee. I studied with him for a year and a half. Just all the teachers I studied with, Cameron Brown and just so many guys, like 100, well over 100 private lessons and teachers at Berklee. And I'm not trying to brag. That's not the purpose of why I'm telling you this. What I'm saying is that none of them told me to insert lines and licks and go that route. Because once you go down that path, it's hard to stop. And then you end up becoming a pure pattern player. And I grew up in New York for 20 years in the 90s and 2000s, from 1991 when I got back from Berklee until over 20 years later till I left the New York area. I went to a gazillion, all the jazz clubs, 100 times each. And I saw like mainly like two types of players. One, just all technique the whole night long, boring. After the first solo, you're like, all right, this doesn't reach me at all. Great that they practice that much. It's great that they could do what they do. Commendable. Not talking bad about anybody. I don't criticize other people and tell them they suck or they're bad. You know, that's the way they want to play. But what I'm telling you is that you're going to get more fulfillment if it's all about your voice and your lyricism and speaking through your instrument and being musical. This is what the audience wants to hear, and this is what your soul wants to do. Your soul doesn't want to just play. I could play that all day long. I could play all kinds of licks and all that. I can play all kinds of, I do. I mean, I have recordings of me playing lots of really good technique, but your technique has to serve your voice and not the other way around.